Hi guys, welcome to Forever Forest TV. We're delighted to bring you the news that Forest have just won 2-1 on the 2nd of December 2016 at home to Newcastle United in the maddest game I've ever watched in my life.
Well, the maddest 10 minutes.
The maddest end to a first half I've ever seen in my life.
I was speechless. We were speechless during the match day vlog.
I didn't
not only that we got 2 penalties and Newcastle got 2 sending offs, but we also had those 2 penalties saved by none other than Carl Darlow, who used to play for us, and he had an unbelievable game for Newcastle. I mean, the goal we scored where Bentner equalised, he pulled off like 2 or 3 amazing saves.
Yeah, he just popping up like a rabbit out of a hole, just like saving shots left, right and centre. And we managed to scramble it in, but before all that happened, let's go back to the beginning of the game, and we were actually reasonably happy with the way Forest were playing against 11 players, because they had John Joe Shelvey controlling the game, by the way. He was just picking us off. Well, he wasn't picking us off. He was just picking passes out left, right and centre, and he's a very, very good player.
Yeah.
And given time and space, he can really, really hurt you, but we were dealing very well with him. Very well. Because we were letting him do what he wanted to do, but he had no room to penetrate there with them passes.
Yeah,
because of the formation that we played.
I kept saying to you, we were picking moments to press Newcastle high up the pitch, and we did that a few times, and we got unlucky a few times with balls where players just couldn't control the ball or knock the ball across the penalty box, and it was well organised from us. We were pretty stable, and then we even went to a 5-4-1 because we kept allowing like DeAndre Adlin and Paul Dummett to overlap and get crosses into the box. So we changed it a little bit, and we looked solid. And then
I think we did.
And then it just went mental, didn't it?
It did go mental, but I was pleased with how we was going, and then insanity just took over the game.
Another moment of silly.
A moment of silly. Yeah, what is this moment of silly?
Well, because John Joe Shelvey has literally played into Henry Lansbury's hands.
Yeah, Henry Lansbury's wound him right up.
I mean, your dad kept saying to me, "Goes Shelvey's having a right wacky game," because he kept yapping at the referee, and then Lansbury's got him into a situation where he's obviously made him go too far and he stomped on him or whatever. I didn't quite see it, but you saw it and linesman saw it. And it
just seemed to me like as the ball was getting cleared out of the box, from I can't remember the situation for why we were up there in the first place. It was a corner, free kick, whatever. But the ball was being cleared and Lansbury had fallen in on the edge of the box. And if anyone else has seen this, let us know what actually happened. But to me, it looked like Lansbury either knocked Shelvey over, and then they had a scuffle getting up, and then Shelvey's lashed out at him with a stamp. But from reports I'm hearing from the television that he didn't actually stamp on him, but he made the effort to try to stamp on him. That's why he was sent off. But to me, I could see it clear. Like it's one of the clearest stamps I've ever seen in a live game. Like whether he made contact with him or not, it was there to be seen. It was intentional, and Lansbury made the most of it if he didn't get stamped on. But a stamp is a stamp, as we found out with Marley Watkins. Stamp it for Barnsley against Forest, against Thomas Lamb last week. Stamp is a stamp, you've got to go. Yeah. And then we concede. Well, no, first of all, we missed the penalty.
Darlow saved it.
I can't believe for the life of me, I know Lansbury missed the second penalty, but I can't believe for the life of me, a player that hasn't started for us for over 2 months, like comes in and he gets to take the penalty straight away when Lansbury's just been on the back of a hat-trick. One of them he scored is a penalty.
And also he fought Hammer and Toe against Assombalonga to take a penalty against Cardiff.
So shoved him away.
Makes it a bit hard, but credit to Newcastle, it really umped them. And then
they started to play a lot more efficiently, to be honest with you, than they did with 11 players.
Yeah, Matt Ritchie bent in a great finish, to be fair. Nothing Stojkovic could have done about it, but it came from a mistake that we made where Matty Cash got the ball and had no options forward.
Stojkovic should have held on to it, in my own opinion. He should have held on to it, waited for the get out, then clear the lines to wherever. But no, he rolled it to Cash, and then
and then another moment of madness, because we almost get back into it with Lansbury trying to shoot and Dummett shoving him over.
Well, it was quite interesting to me, to be honest with you, because the ball over the top was very similar to the one that carved us open for Marley Watkins' goal against us.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah, because he kind of evaded the offside trap, got over the top, but then I think Henry Lansbury's really played for the penalty, in all honesty, because he could have got a shot off, but he's kind of like stopped himself for a split second so that the player catches up with him and goes into the back of him, which is clever really in this day and age. You know you're going to get a penalty for it, and he's the last man, and he's going to score. Well, you think anyway. He's going to pull the trigger. He has to go. So another penalty, and everyone's like, Lansbury. And then he misses it. And I've not seen the replays of the penalty, so I don't know how far in the corner or how not far in the corner these are. Like I said, you can hit the world's best penalty and the keeper guesses the right way. He may well save it, and Darlow has. But at the same time, you may strike the worst penalty in the world, as in like either side of the keeper, just a couple of yards. But if he goes the wrong way, you've scored. So it doesn't matter either way. Your keeper's either guessed right and it's a good penalty, or he's guessed right and it's a bad penalty. Either way, he's got every chance of saving it. So it's 50-50 really with a penalty, but it's very unfortunate to have two saved directly by the goalkeeper in one game. It's not happened very often. And he joins an elite club in that respect, Cardano does.
Credit to him, fair play.
But half time comes, Forest fans are like, they're like dazed Pikachus. They don't know what's going on. Like they haven't got a clue. It's ridiculous. And I'm not being funny. I could not even speak at half time to him or my mate Mitch or my dad. I did not know what to say to either of them. No idea. I could not believe what I'd just seen.
Madness, really.
Couldn't believe it.
But second half, we brought a Sambalonga on, but we just didn't move the ball forward quick enough, and we ended up having Lam and Kasami in central midfield, which is laughable. It's a bit like...
I couldn't believe that either.
It's a bit like when Ferguson decided to play Park Ji-sung and Raphael in centre mid, and instead of playing Pogba when he was there at United the first time, and that's when Pogba obviously pissed off to Juventus. But it was that sort of situation where you're like,
You've got David Vaughan sat on the bench, you can come on and play centre mid. You've got Muzzy Carriol, you can bring on and put Ben Osborne centre mid, and then that could create, which is what we effectively did in the end. You had other players on the bench. You could have brought Velios on, took Valam off, and just gone 3-3 in the middle, and gone 3 up front.
Yeah, madness. But
you don't keep him there. He's not even a central midfielder. He's barely a defensive midfielder. He's barely a centre back. I don't know what he is. I don't know what he is. He doesn't really like him. He doesn't really like him. He thinks he's pretty crap. On the other hand, I don't think he's overly crap. I just think he might need a bit more time to adapt to a specific role. But this is a difference of opinions. But at the same time, we both agree that he should not be playing as a creative central midfielder against 9 players.
Yeah, definitely. Scrap for an equaliser dead early on as well, actually. Which was, and we thought, hey, we're on to something now. We can get 2, 3, 4 goals hopefully against Newcastle and really stuff them. But we made it incredibly easy for them. We were getting the ball wide and crossing it into no one.
For starters,
Darlow was just getting the ball, or Lascelles was clearing it, and it was just easy.
For starters, the speed at which we went across the back 4 to get it out to the wings was just so slow. It was, wasn't it? When you think about it, and I think back to it, it took an age for Mills to go from Mills to Bequeath to Lehigh. Or from like Lehigh to Bequeath to Mills to Cash, where it could just go from Mills to Carriol, and then Lehigh bombs on, which did happen from time to time. But if you're going to go out to your wing, get it out there really quickly, because they're narrow, because they've got a back 4 and then it's just a bunch of players, a handful of players in the middle. That's it.
But I've got to say, our delivery was pretty poo. And even like when we wanted something to go through the middle and pick up the ball in the pocket, no one was doing it, and no one was driving forward. You would expect Lansbury to pick the ball up and just drive into space and bring players out of position, because we had the extra 2 players, and it just wasn't happening, and it was no urgency, and we really scraped over the line in the end, in all honesty.
Yeah, we did, and it wasn't the best performance in all honesty, but it was definitely not the worst performance, because if they'd have still had 11 players on the pitch, the way we were playing against them 11 players that we've already touched on, we looked pretty solid. And judging that performance, I'm pretty pleased with the way we were dealing with Newcastle, who are by far the best team in the league. Yeah. So, and their team to start this game was exceptional.
It was,
and the bench was exceptional.
Premier League team.
Incredible.
Premier League fans as well.
Yeah, great fans. Oh, touching on that, Geordie fans, like Newcastle fans, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Like, sung your hearts out, even when you went down to 9 players. I mean, at the end of the day, what do you expect? Any team who goes down to 9 players away from him, you've got to expect to potentially lose the game. Yeah. But moving on, I'm not overly dismayed with Forest's performance. I think it could have been a lot better, as in it could have been more efficient when they went down to 9 players. We could have scored more goals and made it look a lot better on ourselves. But at the end of the day, we're Nottingham Forest. We were in a slump. We've won 3 games back to back. One of them's Newcastle. Before this game, nobody would have given us a cat and nails chance of beating Newcastle. And looking in on it from the outside, Nottingham Forest have beat Newcastle.
Yeah.
3 points.
In all honesty,
9 points out of 9.
I'd have took a draw before the game and we would have scrapped for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have been really disappointed if we didn't come out of that winning
with a win,
with 3 points after what had happened. So I'm really, really excited for Derby next week.
I'm excited for Derby because I don't think you can take this performance and compare it to how we're possibly going to play against Derby, because it's not going to happen again. It's the first time I've ever been to a game where the opposition have gone down to 9 players, so it's a rarity. So you can pretty much guarantee it's not going to happen next week. So it's I know, but I can pretty much guarantee.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll put a 10 on it with you right now.
Probably.
Yeah, well, yeah, there you go. But what I'm saying is, it'll be a completely different game. It's a Derby game for starters. Form goes out the window, and every time they play each other. So it'll be an interesting spectacle.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, if you've enjoyed this video, if you've enjoyed the video, please do drop a like. Would be really interested to hear anyone's thoughts on the game, whether you're a Nottingham Forest fan or a Newcastle fan. Again, Newcastle fans, absolutely brilliant, top quality. You will go up this season as probably champions. I think.
I'd imagine you would.
Subscribe for more Forest content. We can't wait to bring you next video when we preview Derby County.
Big one! We're going Derby away. Bring it on. Come on, you heads!